reinvented myself. After being laid off in 2008, I went through an extended period of unemployment and had to learn and refine new skills to get the job I have now. And now, for the first time ever, I am happy and excited to go to work.
I am proud that I lost 90 pounds on my own. I'm proud that despite the fact that I come from a broken home, I have been able to maintain a healthy, stable, and loving relationship with my boyfriend for over 6 years. In fact, my relationship has lasted longer than all 3 of my mother's marriages put together.
I am proud that despite social anxiety, I went to an FE info session, sang horribly, talked with a few people, and applied for FE. I am proud that I overcame papillary thyroid cancer as I continue to face the everyday challenges that come with living without a thyroid, and the ongoing management, daily pills, monthly blood work, yearly scans. I consider myself to be pretty independent. I have no issues going out exploring places on my own. I only have fears of making conversation. I question myself, what if I say something wrong? What if I'm boring, etc. But I am tired of being in hiding and tired of being socially anxious. To use a quote I found, my biggest fear is that I will become too comfortable with being lonely for the rest of my life.
I'm proud of myself for getting through some pretty severe depression that was swallowing me whole last fall. Not to say that depression won't rear its ugly head ever again, but I've been able to pull myself up by the bootstraps and am no longer in that dark hole right now because of therapy, coaching, and finding different ways to make new, positive, and old friends still around, and acquaintances who are trying to live a positive life. I'm also proud for surviving my mother, who was an alcoholic and struggled with an addiction to prescription medication. By the grace of some higher power, I was able to make a healthier life for myself. She's no longer with us today, but I must give her credit for creating the resilient person that I am.
I am proud that I am finally learning what it means to love myself. It has been a long, hard road to get to this place. Yet without everything that I've been through, I would not know what a gift this really is to know that I am a good person, worthy of love and respect, and to be able to give that to myself. I am alive against all odds and my own best efforts to the contrary. Some might even call it a miracle. This past March, I celebrated 14 years of continuous sobriety, and that I really would call a miracle.
What scares the daylight out of me is speaking in front of hundreds of people. I had a friend who first introduced me to Toastmasters about 6 years ago, and he took me to one of the meetings, and one of the hostess running the Toastmasters meeting announced us to raise your hand if you don't want to be called upon to speak. Well, as I was looking around, raising my hand, apparently I was the only one that did. This has always been a challenge for me, and it's something I'd like to overcome.
I've been thinking about FE for a long time now, and I finally pushed myself to go into an info session and apply when I realized that my fear of not getting picked was not living a life of yes. My mother worked hard at giving me a terrible body image and constantly told me what I couldn't or shouldn't do. Singing, wearing something that showed my arms, marrying a super handsome man because I wasn't that kind of girl. While I have mostly gotten that out of my head, I realize that I still limit myself because of my size and because I am afraid of what people will think when they see a bigger woman doing something. I constantly feel I am held back from a specific set of adventures and excitement because of my fears, most of which are related to my body and my health. It's the part of my life I feel I have the least control over, even though really I have the most control over it if I just force myself to do so.
To sing on stage has always been a dream of mine. Back in the days of cassette tapes, a friend had asked if he could borrow a blank cassette tape. I had given what I thought was a blank, but was told later that I had recorded myself singing American Pie. My friend said that he had Had listened to the whole song with his girlfriend. They both thought I should be a singer. What kept me from pursuing my dream is having been born with extreme social anxiety disorder. Having SAD has always made making new friends a hard thing for me. Most of my friends are now married, and the few that still live in the area have children and are no longer around very much to do things with me. I want to join FE to meet people and make new friends.
A year ago, I found myself unexpectedly unemployed. I was really scared. Fast forward a few months to February, the holiday season ended, and I felt assured job opportunities would arise. In a few-week period, 3 of my dad's family members passed away. As I dealt with those losses, I was repeatedly faced with questions about my job situation. Come April, friends and family often remarked how shocked they were I had not found anything yet. Throughout my entire life, I've relied on my academic and professional successes as a crutch. I wasn't exactly popular in grade school and high school, but I always did well in school and at work, and that success kept me emotionally afloat. Without it, I felt very little self-worth. There are 2 primary reasons I am applying to FE, and I'm glad I did. First, I want to acquire the tools to help me find meaning in my life apart from being successful. If I fail at my art form in FE, that shouldn't take away from the experience for me. I don't need to pretend that things are perfect and that I am perfect for people to like me and to respect me. Second, I want to do something really fun and challenging. I know that there is a funny and spontaneous woman inside of me that I have lost a little recently. I miss her, and I think my family and friends miss her too.
I quit my job and moved from Virginia in 2010 to pursue comedy. For the past 4 years, that has been my life. The same friends, having the same conversations in the same bars and theaters after doing the same scenes in the same shows. As a result, I've been withdrawing from it, which means I'm getting lonely and frustrated. I need to do something that makes me uncomfortable, but in a good way. I need to have conversations with people who walk a completely different walk and talk a completely different talk. I need to do something that isn't trite, cliche, or boring. If I do one more silly scene about unrequited love, my head may explode. I need to not be defined by this one thing that I love so much and become a more well-rounded person. I need to work hard for something again, and I mean really work hard and be challenged.
My high school musical director told my voice teacher I had gotten the part of Liesel in The Sound of Music. He lied. When the cast list was posted, I was placed in the ensemble, the only senior who did not get a speaking role. That killed me, and ever since then my dreams have been clouded with anxiety. For the past 10 years, I have run away from the chance to sing publicly. I can't even do karaoke. I'm looking for a safe environment to hone my skills and push through my fear. It's frustrating for me because as a child, I had zero qualms in singing in front of others. I want to get back to that little girl inside of me and sing my heart out with no fear. Additionally, I am partaking in a friend cleanse. I never feel as alive as I do. Thank you. If you're my friend and you're here, you passed. I never feel as alive as I do in the presence of people who face their fears, and I need more of these types of people in my life. Thank you.
Trim the fat.
As a kid, I went to summer camp and participated in sports, and in college, I was a part of a couple of close-knit groups. But as an adult, I feel like that part of my life has been put on a shelf, never to be seen again. That part is the part that where I'm forced to work with others in a creative endeavor. The part where I spend intense amounts of time forming close friendships with complete strangers over something other than being a lawyer. And the part where it's okay for me to spend time doing something that's fun. As an adult, I've lost these parts of my identity that I don't want to lose, and I haven't replaced them with something else that I need. For example, these days I often get some friendly ribbing about my supposed inability to express emotions, particularly enthusiasm. This is not something that used to be true about me when I was younger, and I'm afraid that if I don't do something like FE, I might never find it again. I'm pretty independent in life. Apart from my work team, there are few things that leave me needing others. But as a human being, I do need others, and I want to be better at showing that vulnerability, trusting in others, and letting down my guard.
The past year has been difficult for me. After years of feeling dissatisfied with my career, I left a job with no real clear idea of what's going to happen next. I'm turning 40 soon, and I've watched my friends around me get married, have kids, while I'm still single and dating without much success. I fear my time to have these things is leaving me. In many ways, I feel I've become a bystander in my own life. I want things, and yet I seem to stop myself from reaching out and grabbing them. I have become afraid. I was not always like this. I feel like once I was a happy, fun person, and slowly over the past 10 years, the sense of fun has dripped out. I need fun. I need adventure. I need a jolt. For too long, I've been living my life on the sidelines, for reasons I cannot fully comprehend. I'm tired of asking myself, when is it going to be my turn? I'm beginning to realize that I have to find and take my turn. I fear that I have no stories to tell. I fear that the sense I feel boring is actually true. I fear being vulnerable in front of so many others telling my real truth. I'm afraid of people seeing the real me.
I'm proud that I'm the first person in my immediate family to have graduated from college. I'm proud that I moved across the country knowing no one else to pursue my passion for social justice. I'm proud that I help students get into and stay in college. And I'm proud that I can set a positive example for other first-generation students like me. This is way scarier than stepping, guys. But my work-life balance is completely out of whack. I go to school at 7:30 in the morning and often stay past 6 o'clock at night. While I love my students and teaching, when I get home I often just eat dinner, watch TV, browse BuzzFeed, go to bed, repeat the process every day. I'm not really learning new things like I did in college, and I'm genuinely concerned that I'm getting dumber because I'm not challenging myself anymore. I don't like to admit my weaknesses. Part of this comes from losing my mother at 17 and having to help raise a brother 8 years younger than me. Felt like I had to take on a lot of responsibility and there was no time to break down. So being far away from my family is tough, especially as my dad fights cancer and my brother struggles to get his life back on track. But I don't like talking about it in great detail, even with close friends. While I would always be there for a friend to listen to similar issues, I often can't bring myself to share in the same way, and now I'm doing it with about 600 of you. I'm hoping that FE will force me to be more vulnerable.
I'm ready to figure out how to express myself again. Despite acting and singing most of my life, once college was over, I decided I wanted to be behind the scenes supporting artists rather than being one, and that's when I completely stopped doing anything in my own voice. I can't even fully express myself to most of my closest friends or boyfriend. I thought therapy could help, but I have a feeling Fear Experiment might do a better job. I have sucked at taking risks almost my whole life. Sometimes I wonder how much richer my life would be if I wasn't so scared.